Hey guys, Deal Maker Story. So I'm just carrying on with the part 2 of working in the takeaways and getting those experiences. What had actually happened with that? So I always say we'll mention names so that you know that there's truth to the story. Now, as we said before, we're looking many years back, 27, 28 years ago, around about there. So I eventually took the experience that I learned, and I actually I realized, massive market in Bloemfontein, in the takeaway industry. So what had actually happened was I eventually was, and because I built a name for myself of helping people, and actually, like I say, your name is very important. You might not have money, but you should have a good name. So in any case, I was taken to a family man at that time, or a businessman at that time. That time, it was Nick, Georgia, and I remember it like it was yesterday. So I was taken to him, and they said, this is a young man, we just want to introduce him to you. And basically what had happened is that I actually sat down. I'll never forget it. This man looked at me with a very, very heavy voice, when he spoke, so you paid attention when he spoke. And he said to me, tell me a little bit about yourself. And I did. And I explained to him, I've been working in the takeaways, and I told him a little bit about my past and where I am and how, and I'm going to tell you guys a lot more about my story so that you will understand. And a lot of them, there's a lot of heart sore stories that will come up, and there was some very difficult times as well, which I will discuss. And there was some good times as well. But once again, before we carry on, please don't forget to subscribe. And if you like our clips, press like, and share them if you feel you want to share them, if they can help anyone. So in any case, back to what I was saying. So I eventually met this businessman at that time by the name of Nick, Georgia, and very heavy voice, asked me some questions, and I said to him, I just would like an opportunity to, just to, get on my feet and that. So he eventually said to me, okay, I'm going to help you. I said to him, I've got no money. I said, no, that's fine. But I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'm going to give you a chance. I said, no, thank you very much. And eventually he sent me, at that time, it was his son-in-law by the name of Jimmy Augusti. I'll never forget it. And he took me with this big Mercedes Benz, and this Jimmy was driving, and Nick, Georgia was sitting next to him. And, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, so I'll tell you quickly another thing. So before we actually got there, I had to eat fruit with him. He said to me, sit down at the pool area and you must have some fruit. Grapes, apples, you name it. He was just giving me fruit. Till today, I'm not sure if it was because he wanted to know more about me or he just wanted to feed me fruit, but he asked me some very direct questions that I needed to answer that time. And, our lunch that day was fruit. I'll never forget it. It was grapes and apples and you name it. I mean, this was just fruit. And he said, you must always eat fruit. Always eat fruit. Till today, we eat fruit. So, in any case, he eventually took me with this, with Jimmy Augusti, and we drove in this Mercedes Benz. And, I was, sitting there, and I was listening about this is in bloom and that is in bloom, and so eventually took me to the store, walked a little bit around, asked me what did I think of it. I said, no, I like it. It was empty. The shop at that time was called Roxana, and once again, this is a store that's been many years in the takeaway industries in Bloemfontein, but at that time it was called Roxana. And he said to me, you like it? I say, yes, but with a very deep voice. Do you like it? I said, yes. He says, okay, it's yours. I said, excuse me? He says, it's yours. Tomorrow morning, you take over. Never forget that. Never forget that. And that's basically how I ended up owning the Roxana. I immediately had changed the name to the Beverly Hills because I wanted people to know that there's a new owner. I wanted to give it a fresh look because for many, many years it was known as Roxana. And I think today it's back to Roxana again. And I know that a lot of people never made it in that store. But you know what? I worked it with my brother. Never forget it. And we worked it day and night, 7 days a week. From 7 in the morning, we used to open and we used to go right through until 10 o'clock at night. 7 days a week, 7 days a week. Had no money for stock, had no money for anything. It was basically an empty store. I mean, when you see one item and it's about another 10 meters until you find the next item, I mean, that's how the store was. But in any case, I was given the opportunity by this man. So I took it and I eventually ran it and grew it and worked 7 days a week, morning to night. But you know what? I took the experience that I had learned, and once again, I could also go down to those people. I'll never forget it. I could go and always ask for help and ask for advice, and that, because that was one thing about the communities. They wanted to see people succeed, especially young people that were prepared to work. Always wanted to see them succeed and get on the feet. I mean, I was no threat to anybody. I mean, I just wanted to make a living. I just wanted to put food on the table. I'm going to tell you the stories. I used to sleep on the floor. And I'm going to tell you about another businessman who actually gave me beds for myself and my brother. I mean, we were sleeping on the floor. And I'm going to explain to you the journeys. I'm going to tell you how, people had hurt us along the way and that. But I took the store, took it from Roxana, changed it to Beverly Hills, ran it up, built it into a superstore, a lot of stock. I mean, you could come, you could find it, but I worked. I mopped the floors. We packed the shelves, myself and my brother. And we worked it 7 days a week, 7 in the morning, right through until 10 o'clock at night. That's what we were doing. And eventually I did end up, paying him back. And again, till this day, I've run into him a couple of times. And, when he sees me, he always greets me. I'll never forget the one day I was sitting at the Spur with my family. I can remember that as it was yesterday. And I was sitting at the casino Spur. And we were sitting with my family in the corner, right on the other side. And here came this businessman, Nick Georgia. Never forget it, like yesterday. And right on the other side. And everybody standing up, greeting him, talking to him, and I was just there with my family, and he happened to see me. And I mean, we're talking now 20 years have passed since, he last helped me. And he saw me on the other side, and he walked towards me, walked past everybody. They were greeting him, he greeted, and he walked to me. And he said to me, "Hello, Kyriacos," and he shook my hand, said hello to my wife. At that time, I had a little boy, my first kid. I looked at him and I said to myself, we are. And I know many times people think because you don't have money or you think you're a nobody. But you know what? If you've got a good name and you treat yourself right, in the sense of you treat people well and you treat people with respect. And nobody says you mustn't be a soft businessman. You can be a hard businessman, but you've got a good reputation and you will be taken notice of. And I mean, this man, everybody just wants to greet him and speak to him and that. I didn't even stand up towards him because I thought it would be actually like intrusion because everybody just was all over him, But when I saw him walk towards me, I was thinking maybe he's going to the bathroom. And he walked, greeted me, asked me how I was, and spoke to me. These are the small things why I believe, it's so important to have a good name, look after, the way you treat people and that. And that is my story, how I ended up buying the Roxana, which ended up being the Beverly Hills, and it's back to Roxana, store that's been many, many years in Bloemfontein. And I remember that as yesterday. So now what I was trying to say to you is the experience that I learned from the takeaways and what I had done working for certain families, working for certain business people, working from the bottom. If I had to pack, if I had to mop, if I had to clean, I did all of that. But that allowed me the opportunity to grow. So I always say the money will come much later on in life. Money will come. But you need to be able to offer value to people. You need to be able to respect people. You need to want to actually first learn. And that's how I ended up buying the Roxana. That's how I ended up changing to Beverly Hills and eventually back to Roxana. And eventually ended up, settling this man. And today, if I see him or he sees me, he would greet me. And that is actually what I'm trying to say. Your name is everything out there. I like I said, I went. We had fruit around a pool. He didn't have to help me. I was a nobody. I was a guy helping people in shops. But I was given an opportunity because people were prepared to vouch for me what I have done for them and how hard I was prepared to work. And because of that, it allowed me through the door. So I was given that opportunity. I was given an opportunity to grow. And that is how I want to always be remembered as somebody that has helped people. That is why I do these clips, and that's why I say these stories, because I believe there are many people out there with having no money, their back is against the wall, they don't know what to do. And I've shown so many different examples by not having money how you can actually grow. You can grow. You just need to put yourself out there. You need to want to work. You need to want to be hungry for success, and it will happen to you. I will tell you different stories, how I ended up mixing with CEOs, how I ended up mixing with millionaires, billionaires. I will tell you all these stories, and you will see. From a guy who worked in the cafe. That's my story. And I want to tell each and every one who's trying to make it out there, anything is possible. You have the potential for greatness. You can do anything that you put your mind to. I was sitting in the Spur with my family as a nobody. And walks in, at that time, the most successful businessman, biggest property person at the time. And he walked right across towards me and asked me, "How are you?" and shake my hand. Now, shouldn't that tell you anything? So, once again, worked in the store, had my Beverly Hills, which was Roxana, and I went from strength to strength. Thank you, everybody. And we're going to have some more exciting stories to tell you. And once again, if your back's against the wall, remember, if you keep your name good and people can believe in you, you will succeed, because you have the potential for greatness. Cheers.